Good morning. Today I am doing April 2022, the 10th through the 17th. And I'm going to today spend a little bit of time explaining some of the details in the natal chart or the transit chart that we are experiencing at this time. And we have Pluto at 28 degrees in the 10th house, which means that we're coming to a conclusion. We're not quite Antarctic, but we're becoming close, which means we're coming to a close with the energy, the transformation within government or within our public house, religion, anything that you can think of that is of that really high standard, that the Pope. We are transforming how we see and what we're willing to experience or tolerate. And so at this time, Pluto 28 degrees Capricorn. Now I'm going to move on to, let me bring it up. My phone only keeps it. Okay, so the next one is Mars, and that is in the 12th house, which is interesting in that the 12th house isn't a very good place for Mars as a rule. It's considered less than. Mars is a fiery, aggressive energy, and in the 12th house, it's watery, it's crisis based, it's loss. So Mars having to negotiate the 12th house is less than solid. So oftentimes we feel like we really don't have the ability to adequately defend ourselves. But with Mars in the 12th house, it's a person who's going to be sort of aware at all times of the underdog, the person who's just not getting a fair shake, or that maybe you feel isn't getting a fair shake. People who have Mars in the 12th are, usually can work in hospitals, prisons, public institutions. So your energy is limited in this house due to the fact that the conflicts, if you have a fiery energy and you're action oriented and you're having to slog through the water of the 12th house of Neptune, you can see where your movements, your thoughts, your ability to move forward is rather restricted. Okay, and the next one we have is that we have Mars, Jupiter going into Aries. It is at 29 degrees at this time, which is considered an Antarctic position. It is getting ready to move on into Aries. What does it mean that it's Antarctic? Well, or Anaretic, excuse me. Well, what it means is it's Anaretic is that it's concluding what it's doing in the house of spirit, the house of Neptune, where it has been dissolving what we know, how we know things to be, and bringing about an expansion of spirituality in a new way. And we're getting ready to now move on into a more action-based Aries Jupiter cycle, where we're going to expand, and Jupiter is fire, and so is Aries, which and Mars, where it has to negotiate that house. It has to work in that environment. So what we are going to see is to watch your me first tendencies as you expand, because that might backfire on you. That might come with some blowback. So this is Jupiter in Aries. It's getting ready to head into Aries right now. It is in an Anaretic position, 29 degrees. So that is getting ready to happen. And then we have Venus heading in as well to Aries. And Venus being magnetic, you think of Venus as it's an earth-based energy going into a fire-based house, where what are we currently experiencing? Well, not that this has anything to do with it, but wildfires that are very costly, and Venus is about money in some ways. So we have, quite a bit happening. The stage is set. Many things are taking place. This has been a difficult time spiritually, as we have seen. Our Supreme Court making some really huge decisions, for which I will just skip over that, because I think that there's some reluctance for groups to post my podcasts when we discuss really controversial issues, which is completely reasonable, because who wants to get shut down? But one of my issues with all of that is the censorship. So with that, I'm going to shuffle. I am using today the deck Dreams of Gaia, one of my favorites. We will just ask the cards to just expand upon the issues that I've already covered, the planetary placements, the transits that we're all experiencing. And Spirit, I'd like for you to just kind of help us to know what we might expect within this next week, given the planetary placements and aspects. So that's shuffle number 2, and then we're going to go for shuffle number 3. And then, if you recall, I spread the cards out, I select 5, and then I use the card I cut as my foundation. So let's spread these out. Stick my keyboard up so it's not in my way. And I just take and spread them out across my desk. And I'm going to go ahead and select 5 cards. So 3 and 4, 5. Okay, here's 5 cards. Dreams of Gaia today. Here's my deck. I'm going to cut it 3 times. And why am I doing this in sets of 3s? Well, 3, 6, and 9 are prime numbers for spirituality. They're the divine numbers. So I believe it and I use them. Okay, so where this starts, the Father. Okay, see if I can get that in there clearly. Yeah, that looks maybe. That's a little better, a little less glare on it. Anyway, so we start out with Dreams of Gaia, the Father. And in this card, he is sitting here with a little wand that is on fire, as if there's something coming, that there will be fireworks. He very much appears to be earth-based, which of course that would make sense, because the Father would be the 10th house, Saturn. He's sitting here with a lion. So it's suggesting something Leonian. And that is a very curious, I had considered discussing this. I'll briefly touch on this issue. This could be, of all things, and I didn't anticipate this could be Putin. And I say that because Putin has Pluto in Leo in the 10th house. So I'm wondering if we're about to see some significant change in circumstances where he is concerned. And it's entirely possible. And again, this is a general reading. This is not a political reading, so I don't want to be misunderstood. I'm not coming in, at least directly, I don't want to bring politics to the table, but I find it very curious, given that I know that Putin is a 10th house Pluto guy. So we'll just leave it at that. And Pluto would be an energy where, when you think about it, it's where you have wounding. It's where you might have paranoia and trouble. It might be completely troubling for a person who's in a Pluto state. And again, another thought I just had, that's, I don't know. I mean, I had told my husband a while back that I thought Putin was not well. I thought maybe he had something wrong with him. And now I'm hearing rumors. I'm not one to watch the news, so I want to make that clear. So if there's something in the news, I probably don't know about it. But I think he has some kind of major medical crisis happening, and I think that he's physically in trouble. And I know that in December, he has a transit coming up at Saturn opposite Pluto, which is going to really bring to task what his career is all about and whether or not he's been on track. And this is going to occur in December. So, and I'm going to probably do a podcast on that issue because it for no other reason, astrologically, it is quite interesting what's taken place, what's unfolding, on the world stage. So at any rate, this card could indicate that within this week, we're going to see and hear things maybe that are going to be about Putin. So we'll just let that kind of sit with us. That's our foundation card using Dreams of Gaia. So very interesting. Okay. Oh, wow. And our first card is the Scribe, where it's all written. Everything about us is in writing somewhere. And now I've been hearing something about a social credit score. Are the politicians, is our governmental system going to move us towards a system where everything about us is documented, and that over time it creates a score, or I really don't know how it works, but where your life history is scored and you're judged? I don't know that that's going to happen. I know that for myself, I have been concerned about the way we gather and keep information and disseminate information. I have been concerned that people don't have privacy anymore. Young people don't have privacy. If you make a mistake, it's out there. You can't hide it. We can't put our dirty stuff under the rocks. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not. I know I've enjoyed some privacy, and I really very much wish that we still had it, but we don't. Okay, so that's that. And then we get, Seven of Swords, where, yes, there's a conflict. There's a conflict in the information and the way it flows and the way it's going to be packaged and handed out. This kind of reminds me of Snowden, who's living in exile in Russia. Are we experiencing a gathering of our data to be exposed, that written data coming forward and being used like a sharp knife against us in our system moving forward? Is that part of the bigger reality that we're all experiencing? I don't know, but again, I find these cards really interesting. You can't make them up. I draw them just as randomly as anything. And I like the cards with the astrology because I feel like it opens up the subconscious for me. I'm able to kind of go into my imagination and look deeper into what I might be thinking or sensing. So, and I'm highly sensitive, and I always have been. So I find these to be a good tool. The next card that we get is the Hero. So this suggests that perhaps this week, something is going to get exposed. Somebody is going to come forward with information and say, hey, this is going in a direction that's really uncomfortable, that I don't care for. The Hero is going to be the Sun. And I believe, let me look where the Sun is in transit. That's really, these cards today are interesting. Yeah, the Sun in Taurus, where we have our financial interests. The Sun is shining, and this is our anchor card. This is a Major Arcana. It is a card that is a 12, which is calling for us to creatively reach down into our energy and come out with that heroic lioness Sun and do something with ourselves. And I know for myself, I'm doing a lot. I'm going to school, I'm getting organized, I'm getting ready to set up my astrology business. I'm podcasting regularly right now. I'm working with others in study groups. Yeah, be your own hero. Step up. And remember that what are we doing? Well, we're overcoming probably what feels like oppression, because Father is going to be Saturnian energy. It's going to be career. It's going to be government. It's going to be church. It's going to be the highly organized structures we have in life. And we are being asked to step up and be our own hero and see what it is we need to see, and so that we can end this cycle and come about it in a different way. Okay, because it's all about growth. No matter what we do, it's all about growth. We're all being pushed spiritually. And we have Jupiter in the 12th house, and we also have Neptune, where we're just really being asked to do our spiritual work. Come on, bring it up. Okay, so that's our anchor. And then what do we get? We get knowledge. In the end, it's all about gaining knowledge. It's all about growing up spiritually. We probably live many, many lifetimes. I believe very much in reincarnation. And I believe that we're here perfecting who we are and having what I would say is a Christ conscious experience. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, it means that I believe, I mean, I want to say that I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, but I believe that we are called to come to this planet and live who we are. And there's no shame in that. And as a result, that agreement between you and upper management is a Christ conscious experience, for which goes into the data bank of our spiritual souls, that nothing, everything is documented. Our entire being of who we are is documented. It is all written. And so the knowledge is being accumulated. For us, I think the question is, how do we use that knowledge? Do we step up and say, look, you can't use my information that way. Now, do we even have a choice? I very much doubt it. I kind of think the way this is going forward, we're about to see some new things, Jupiter in Aries, where it's about survival. Jupiter is about expanding. It's about opening up. And it's also fire as a modality. So we have several things happening here. We have fire, we have a major planet in Aries saying, I'm here to expand what it looks like to survive. What does that mean for us? Well, that I don't know yet. None of us do, but that is where we're coming. I think largely it's going to depend on where you might have Jupiter in your chart, or how your chart aspects overall. How this might impact you could be complicated. For me, I have Jupiter in the first house. So what am I doing? Well, for me to survive, I'm expanding what I know. I'm educating myself. I'm learning an ethical way forward, providing astrology that's helpful to the masses. We each have our gifts. We each are a hero in our own way. So we get knowledge, right? And that's that's a 9. So it's a humanitarian type of knowledge. And we have just a good deal here of this growing and learning, where the cards are really asking us to learn what it is we need to learn so that we can make good decisions in the future, which I think we're living on a planet that needs us to make good decisions in all kinds of ways. And in the end, we've got fire. We have the 8 of fire, where we have this energy that is expansive, that's saying, here I am, I've got it all. I can do it all, and I know what to do. And we have fire season coming up. So how literal is this card? I don't know. But I do think we are seeing a good deal of earth changes, which again, this is a fire card. We're needing to be the hero of our own lives, right? We're needing to step up. A lot of energy is going into fire this time. So we might be seeing quite a bit of fires, you know, with this father energy, this government, Pluto, wounding, where we haven't exactly been good to our planet and things have gotten kind of hot. It could be kind of an expensive summer. So, but we're talking about the week of, and there's already several fires going, I think in Mexico is what I thought I heard. So with that, thank you for joining me here today. Please do hit the like, share, and subscribe. And think about how you can take care of the planet, how you can be a part of the solution. I wasn't expecting this reading today, obviously, to take kind of an environmental turn, but I think that it is. I think that it's saying, you know, watch fires, be mindful, use your mind in a positive way, right? Gather up information right there, right? Don't be about a battle. Know when to put your swords down and walk away, because this is a 7 of Swords. Know when to stop, because we're all in this together and we all need a way forward. And with that, I thank you for joining me here today.